Hey there, guys, gals, fans, and pals. John Megacycle here from Megacycle Entertainment, coming at you. How you doing? How you doing today? Doing all right? Hope you're doing all right. I'm doing fine. Anytime I could sit down and do some gaming is a good day. You know what I'm saying? Ugh, work has been a bit much. Life is tough, but have a couple of minutes to game. Doing all right. Yeah. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about aerial superiority in Command and Conquer 3. Been playing a lot of generals lately. Really loving the Airforce general. Really falling into that aerial superiority kind of a thing. Also been playing a lot of Red Alert 3 lately as the allies. Very good comprehensive aircraft strategy. They even have a commander in Red Alert 3 named Giles, and he's absolutely just Air Force. Like, 90% of his first build order is aircraft. Like, I mean, there's nothing else he builds. Like, so if you could figure that out early, countering that is kind of straightforward. But I wanted to introduce a lot of the aerial superiority tactics here back in Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath. Very simple math, pipeline problems. I'm going to be playing as Zocom. You can play as any GDI, really. For the tactics I'm going to use, I prefer Zocom because instead of the extra armaments, I get a better armor upgrade. I think it's called ceramic plating for my hammerheads and my orcas and all that stuff. So, I'm going to actually do one of two things. And I want to talk through it before I do it. That way I'm not taking a bunch of pause breaks and explaining it. So, we are going to rush right all the way to an airfield or an airport. I keep forgetting what it's called. We're going to crank out some hammerheads. Once we do that, we're going to sell our MCV for a little bit of cash. The important thing about that isn't the cash, though. The important thing is the engineer. There's a little bit of an exploit in this game that I experienced a couple of videos before on my channel, John Megacycle. And what I noticed is when you have an engineer that's close to an enemy structure, the enemy will sell that structure. It does not matter what it is. So here's the skinny. Just so, again, I'm not explaining a ton where we're going. We're going to take our MCV about halfway through our build order. When we're done building structures, we're going to sell it. We're going to get the engineer. We're going to put it in a hammerhead, rush it to the enemy base, and we're going to force them to scrap their MCV. Now, I'm going to demonstrate the whole thing. Again, Zocom, no tricks up my sleeve, random. Nothing. I'm not choosing who they are. We could choose them as GDI to make it a mirror match. Whatever. Doesn't much matter. Yeah, let's just get this party started. I'm a little rusty, but should be okay. So, I've got my power plant building up. We're going to go power plant refinery. War factory. I think I don't know if, yeah, we'll go war factory so I can get out a couple more harvesters. Should have went refinery next, but that's okay. So right now this is a very simple map. This is pipeline problems. I've got a big patch of green, big patch of blue over here. If I'm fast enough, we won't even need the blue stuff. Now, this tactic works as an early rush, but you gotta be careful who you're up against. You might have to be a little more finessey, I guess. You gotta razzle dazzle them a little bit. You gotta be careful. This doesn't work 100% of the time if you just brute rush and don't look. It requires a little bit of micro, but we'll get there, no problem. Okay, give me that quick. I want this. Oh, I should have went War Factory, but that's okay. I'll need the command post for the airfield at all. Actually, I might skip another refinery. Let's see how this works. We'll play this kind of loose. So I have that. I can upgrade that. I should be able to afford a couple of hammerheads, and like I said, we are going to sell our MCV. Something like this, and I've got a little bit of money. Let's just sell it right away. So, at a minimum, I should get an engineer. I should also get a minigunner. There have been times where I've not gotten the minigunner, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. You get in. I would like us to have a PMO upgrade. Okay, so I've got the engineer in a hammerhead. I've got a couple of missile and minigunner infantry. We're just going to crank out a few more hammerheads. I'm going to wait till I have 4, let's say, and then I'm going to get in there. Another thing I like to do is change my attack order to aggressive stance. Or I guess it's just called a stance, yeah. Change my stance to aggressive. That way there's a lot less time my dudes are just standing around being guards or whatever. So the interesting thing with this tactic is, again, we can't build anything. I have the engineer. Once we get the engineer close enough to the enemy MCV, they'll sell it. And then my engineer's going to... Okay, just go. Go. My engineer is going to die very, very quickly, but they'll actually lose their MCV. Okay, we've got an enemy GDI. We're just going to rush anyway. We're going to rush and see what we can do to their base.
On hold. Cancelled. Training.
Zone is hot. Hammerhead engaged.
Okay, and this is going to be a super quick kill, because watch this. Deploy.
Got the guns.
Engineer hits the ground, dies immediately, but now they've lost their MCV. Now, I can actually rush back and defend my base. Get that guy. We actually should be okay. So even with some small changes here, yeah, they're all going to get run over. I've got the hammerheads. These are predator tanks. They can't hit the air. But what I've done is I've gone into their base and I've struck down their MCV. I'm going to lose that, aren't I? Yep, I sure did. But I got a minigunner out of the deal. That's fine. Come over here, boys. There you are. Get in. Now, what I'm going to have to do is rely on my command powers, which is a little unfortunate, but that's okay. I still have a bit of an upper hand. I've got a working military. I forced them to scrap theirs, pretty much. Okay, okay. So now we're seeing a bit of reaction. I've got enough hammerheads, this shouldn't be a problem. But we're going to have to be careful. It all depends on the personality of the AI and who you're fighting as to what you're going to get. Okay, back it off. Oh, I was hoping we could save one of them. Get him. Okay. Let's get the barracks. With the AP ammo upgrade and the infantry inside, it works out pretty nice. Let's go pop him. Okay, cool, cool, cool. We're going to retreat. Stuff's pretty damaged. We got to be very, very careful. This military is incredibly fragile. We're going to stick with hammerheads. They do good damage. Actually, how much is the ceramic? I want the ceramic armor upgrade before I get another hammerhead. Thank you. Zocom is pretty good with the Airforce. The ceramic upgrade really makes the hammerheads a real valid strat. Especially with zone troopers or rocket infantry. It's just too good. It's almost too good. But you got, you know, this is taking a little bit of micro, taking a little bit of energy. They rebuilt their MCV, so I'm going to have to pop that pretty quick before this gets crazy out of hand. Now, like I said, this tactic varies between what personality of an AI you get and what faction you're dealing with. Sometimes this is a lot easier, sometimes this is a lot harder. Get the war factory first, that's producing vehicles for them. Then we're going to go pop their harvesters. And then if I've got to retreat again for more repairs, that'll be fine. But right now, we've got to shut down their manufacturer capability. Pop that jerk. Done deal. Then I'm going to have to pop the barracks after this. Now, the more damage I'm dealing, the more active I am, the more veterancy. Oh, they are straight up Zocom. Right. So their harvesters are also, whatever. But I've got some cash. We can get some reinforcements, which is good. Some actual vehicle what the heck? Some actual vehicle reinforcements. So even though, like I said, pushing Air Force General, we're doing that by building our airfield first. That was the priority. Wanted a quick rush. Using the engineer exploit worked very, very well. If you're a human, facing another human, you could probably get in some really, really good damage with that engineer. Maybe cap that MCV if they're not paying attention. But this definitely forces their hand in a very, very inappropriate and rude manner. Get in there, boys. Just hammer down. This is the hardest piece we've got to take, but just get it out of there. Let's do a little scanning, see if there's anything else. Nothing else. Ooh. Get the factories. Get the factories. Get the... Hello. Get this, guys. There we go. We want the factories done, the barracks done. We don't want them to produce any troops at all. That's the rule. Done deal. Over here. Cool. Give up a few more hammerheads. I don't know why I went back to base for that, but whatevs. Okay, now we'll just pick on their infrastructure like a rude jerk. Now see, there's the engineer from their destroyed MCV, but they didn't attack my MCV or whatever, so this should be pretty darn simple. We just need the structures done. We're not going to pick on the harvesters. Harvesters have anti-air rockets on the back. They're called rocket harvesters. But we don't want to pick fights with them. There's no need to. It's a lot of damage I don't need. My Airforce, even though it's got the ceramic armor, is still fairly fragile. Want to be careful with all that. So this was kind of a really quick video, but I did want to at least show off how the GDI Airforce is crazy viable. And if you're willing to make a couple of cuts, like we sold our MCV, you can get the cash you need to make it work. If you had a war factory, build a couple... Did we get it? There we go. If you build a war factory instead, maybe add a couple of harvesters in the mix and delay a little longer and get more, it's still a really cool opening hand strat, and it's a lot of fun. And I really want to see my orcas do some work, so let's back off. I don't know if that'll be enough. We'll see. The orca bombing run's kind of crap, but it's fun to deal with. GDI also has other air superiority tactics in their command powers later in the tech tree. Nope, okay. It does so little damage, but it's still fun to use. Okay, that's it. So even though you might be familiar with using the APC and a rocket trooper, the same way the United States in general uses a Humvee and infantry inside of it to get a quick rush in, you could also do a fairly viable strat with any GDI. Again, Zocom just really works for me. The ceramic armor, and then also the AP ammo, which any GDI can have access to from the radar dish, or outpost I think it's called. I keep forgetting the name of it. Yeah, it really adds to the damage of the hammerhead. You saw us shred through the barracks. Almost no problem, right? So, this is my interpretation of Global Defense Initiative's Air Force General in Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath. My name is John Megacycle from Megacycle Entertainment. Thanks a ton for joining me, and I hope to catch you next time.